The Rapture. We live in a culturally diverse country where beliefs in witches and sorcerers are part of our family dynamics. This makes raising my child even more challenging, especially with a spouse who doesn't share the same spiritual beliefs. At times, fear and anxiety about the possibility of the rapture overwhelm me. But God consistently comforts me through His Word, His truth, and His servants. This year, the intensity of spiritual attacks has increased, causing me to question God about the rapture and other matters. Although I haven't had a clear dream about it, God has often revealed insights to me through dreams since my childhood, whether about spiritual battles or people in my life. On Saturday, April 20th of this year, both my son and I had dreams that carried a warning of what's to come. In my dream, I heard a voice telling me that Jesus is coming soon and that we must be prepared for the rapture. These dreams were far from ordinary, marked by an urgency I had never felt before. The voice was unmistakably clear, stressing the nearness of the rapture and the need for spiritual readiness. My son had a similar dream the same night, and when he shared it with me, it only strengthened my conviction that something significant is approaching. Since then, I've sought to draw closer to God, guiding my family in the right direction, despite the spiritual challenges and skepticism surrounding us. Each day, I feel a growing responsibility to warn others about the importance of being ready, as time seems short, and the signs are becoming increasingly evident. Though I recall only fragments of the dream, the message was clear. We must warn others. While I questioned God about something, I distinctly remember hearing the phrase 3 days, though I'm still uncertain if it refers to days, weeks, or years. The following night, I had another dream in which I was prompted to write letters to those who would be left behind, Christians who remain focused on the letter of the Word rather than on God Himself. I was guided to warn them, showing them how to reconnect with the Almighty before it's too late. In my dream, these letters were intended as a final chance for those who might miss the rapture due to distraction or distance from God, despite their faith. The mission was clear: to deliver a message of hope and guidance, so that even after the great departure, these souls could find their way back to true communion with God. Upon waking, the weight of this responsibility stayed with me, and I understood that this task was not just personal, but an urgent duty to share with others while there is still time. Let me also share a sensory dream I had on Sunday morning as I was preparing lunch. My 3-year-old son was playing around the house, singing, when he suddenly jumped in front of me and said, "Mom!" Jesus told me in my dream that He is coming very soon. At first, I didn't take it very seriously, having already discussed the rapture and the importance of being prepared with Him. Later, after his afternoon nap, he came back to me, hugged me, and repeated that Jesus had revealed to him in a dream that He is coming soon. This time, his repetition of the message began to move me deeply. It wasn't just a coincidence. Something important was being communicated through him. His pure and innocent way of speaking about Jesus coming touched me in a way I couldn't ignore. From that day on, I began to take these revelations even more seriously, realizing that God was using my son to reaffirm the urgency of our times and the need to prepare spiritually. My son mentioned that a bad man came to attack him in his dream, but then he simply went back to playing. He told his father the same thing, though my husband didn't seem to pay much attention either. Initially, I didn't take it seriously either, thinking he might be repeating something from my dream. Later that day, I reflected on what my son had said, and it made me remember my own dream. I hugged him and asked for more details about his dreams, trying to ensure he was being sincere. He explained that while he didn't see Jesus in his dream, he heard His voice warning him that a bad man, perhaps the devil, was coming to attack him. In our language, he used a word typically referring to the devil. As I listened to my son, I realized this was something far more serious than I had initially thought. It was clear that the spiritual battles we face are not just mine, but involve my son as well. This dream wasn't just a warning for our family, but possibly for others who are spiritually unaware. It became clear that we needed to intensify our prayers and strengthen our faith. In his dream, my son tried to defend himself with a sword and saw everyone being raptured into heaven before Jesus appeared to defeat the evil. A few days later, I asked him again about his dream, and he added that Jesus said, "When we are in heaven, there will be no electricity on earth and great tribulations will occur." My son's ability to describe these things, at just 3 years old, made me believe God was warning us both to alert others about what is to come. These dreams seem interconnected, pieces of a divine puzzle revealing the seriousness of the times ahead. The fact that my young son mentioned specific details he couldn't fully grasp, like the lack of electricity and the tribulation, only strengthened my conviction that these are not coincidences. They are warnings for us to prepare spiritually and to help others do the same. Though I often share these dreams with relatives and friends, many are influenced by false beliefs, witchcraft, or simply choose to ignore the scriptures. They prefer to trust religious leaders rather than the Bible itself. Whenever I bring up the rapture, people fall silent or change the subject. But as believers, we know God fulfills His promises. I firmly believe that the dreams my son and I had on April 20th are a divine warning, urging us to be ready for the approaching rapture. May God bless you, my brothers and sisters. These dreams are a call to vigilance and spiritual preparation. God, in His mercy, is warning us to be steadfast in faith, even when others around us are disconnected from biblical truths. I hope that this testimony inspires you to prepare and guide others. If this message has resonated with you, please share it so more people can hear this urgent call and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.